Question 6. What have you learnt about technologies from the process of constructing this project? Blogger was a great platform for developing an interactive blog to document the construction and preparation of the project. Having used blogging websites such as Tumblr and WordPress previously, I was familiar with presenting a variety of medias on a hosting website such as this. However, we did learn a lot about using the site, such as making new label categories and introducing other new medias when presenting work. The ability to host a poll was another useful tool, and we did this when getting our audience involved in the naming of the production. Furthermore, Blogger's format enabled us to present our work to the public as well as our peers, and therefore receive feedback during the construction of the project's draft versions. By using Blogger, we could keep track of our progress while we blogged every step of the project, from the introduction of the project to the evaluation. We can embed medias, including pictures and videos, to show where we're getting ideas and inspiration from as part of our research also. Our planning documents could also be embedded, including the target audience questionnaire and shooting schedule. Blogger was used like a diary, where we could each update our blogs with ideas in progress after filming shoots, editing days, and also to post projections of things we wanted to achieve. Altogether, Blogger was particularly useful as a platform because it allowed our audience to feed back to us on the production they were beginning to see develop. This feedback allowed us to also give consideration to things that we had perhaps not considered yet, and this therefore prevented us from becoming too immersed in the project or not being objective enough. Social media such as Facebook, Twitter, Vimeo and YouTube were important for generating audience feedback to share our projects with. We decided that Vimeo would predominantly be our hosting site because it uploaded videos at better quality, whilst we retained YouTube to post filming updates and initial drafts onto. However, we uploaded the final version of the product to YouTube because we considered it to be more user-friendly for viewers to convey their comments and therefore feedback to us. YouTube also gave us access to previous student work that could be evaluated and analysed. In addition to this, during editing, we were able to conduct research into using particular tools and how to create desired looks and effects on YouTube through tutorial videos. For these reasons, we found YouTube to be the most useful of the video sharing websites. Access to websites including IMDb and Box Office Mojo also gave an insight into institutional information, external reviews, user ratings, comments and viewing trailers. When filming, we used a Canon 550D and an 1100D over the option of a lower spec digital camera. We decided to record at 50 frames per second at 720p, and this gave us a concise amount of footage. As a result of this, editing was more precise and we could use the better shots than the footage gathered. After conducting some trial filming, we learnt that it was better to incorporate some stabilisation equipment that we had learnt about through our research. So to enhance this HD experience, we also used a Steadicam for the 550D and a tripod for the other camera to capture some of the long and mid shots. Using SLR cameras were light and easily portable. Furthermore, the advantage of these over older style camcorders was the ability to immediately review raw footage and improve specific shots. This was particularly useful. The option of manual focus was also another beneficial tool. In the beginning of the construction, we used programs such as Final Cut Express to import the footage and begin editing. However, since I had developed a knowledge of using the tools on Final Cut Pro X during filming tests, we decided to construct the project in this program instead. Motion 5 was another program we experimented with further during the construction stages, when learning skills such as creating effective kinetic typography. We also experimented with LiveType to create a title for the draft versions of our project. Although, when editing the project in the post-production stage, we decided to create titles in Final Cut Pro X instead, which we found far more user-friendly as a program. Final Cut was best for creating this title, whilst we found kinetic typography that could be made in Motion 5 a useful tool, but not something we felt fitted within our genre. LiveType simply created things that looked too basic and therefore not visually effective. So, this growth in our understanding of hardware, software and social media technologies taught us how media production has completely changed. Young filmmakers now have access to this user-friendly technology and have begun reshaping the conservative film industry. For example, there has been a huge growth in independent filmmakers because the technology is now available to us. Factors such as distribution and marketing can be channeled by students who create their own YouTube channels, where they host their own films and podcasts and live off the monetization they make from doing so. Harnessing technology in this way has changed the way in which huge film companies work. An example of a huge independent success could be Paranormal Activity, which was produced on a budget of approximately just $15,000, but went on to earn over $194 million at the box office worldwide, and since then they have produced 3 more films. Independent filmmakers now have access to this technology because there has become a proliferation of it, which has made it a lot cheaper. A range of technologies was explored during the construction and planning of the project. When first learning about the conventions of thriller films, I used Pixton to create a satirical comic strip on narrative theory and the surrounding theorists involved in the study. This was a fun and interactive way of presenting this information. I learned conveying information this way could also be easier to understand. Prezi was another useful technology for presenting information such as projections of what we intended to do when making the project. Scribd as well as PowerPoint were other examples of mediums that were useful when planning the project and presenting analysis of conventions in pre-existing thriller films. For the evaluation, Glogster was a good way of displaying a convergence of different technologies to create an interactive page. Woolwisher was similar to this in that it presented another platform that was useful in demonstrating what we had learned. The other technologies, including a PowerPoint presentation, a podcast, and Spicy Notes, was an interesting way of demonstrating certain parts of the project and how it transpired.